Fallout 76, more like Fortnite 76, am I right, boys?
Who's laughing now?
That's right, everybody. It's time for the Fallout Companion tier list. It's actually one of my most requested videos. So, none of the classic characters from Fallout 1 and 2 are on here. Kind of disappointed. I'll make my own list for that. But Deacon is first. He's getting an A. I'm giving Deacon this position because of the actual things he does in the game when it comes to following you through the main quest. Oftentimes you'll see Deacon in the background, and I appreciate that from his character, but without that part of his character, I don't think that you would really remember him. I think that's the most memorable part of him, but I do think that deserves a semi-high rating because it's kind of a cool feature. I liked it with Ulysses in New Vegas that he'd be following you around the Lonesome Road DLC. And I especially like it here in Fallout 4. I think it's one of the more interesting aspects of Fallout 4. So for that, Deacon is getting an A, but otherwise I think he's a rather forgettable companion. Finishing up that first entry, I gotta remind you guys that this is a personal opinion list. And it's not an in-depth lore on these companions. If you want something like that, let me know in the comments or in Discord, and I'm glad to cover any of these people. But we're moving on. This isn't in-depth. I'm just ranking them. Trying to keep it short, but this one's going to be long. So for Codsworth, I do dig the guy, but he's going to get a B. Codsworth is getting this spot due to personal opinion. He isn't a companion that I use really all that much at all in Fallout 4. You come out and find him in the vault, which I'm going to get to that. That's why he's getting the B spot. But I usually just keep him in Sanctuary, and he hangs out around there for the settlement because I use Sanctuary as my main settlement in Fallout 4. I'm giving him the B though because the dude waits for you and he's so excited to see you when you come out of the vault, and I like that, and he's like a remnant of your past. Good dude. I dig Codsworth, but I don't think that he's like a staple companion really. He's definitely not somebody I use very much. The next one up, I think he's a decent guy overall, but he was kind of a dickhead during the early years. I don't know. Butch is an interesting conundrum for me because he was kind of a dick, but I do think he turned into a good guy. So overall, I think I'm gonna have to give him a B. Like I said, Butch was a real dickhead during the early years, but I do think he, if you play your cards right, does become quite the good companion in Fallout 3. You just can't overlook the Sweet Roll incident, man. I hold grudges, and the Sweet Roll incident really fucked with me. Alright, Butch? Can't get over it, not gonna get over it, so you get knocked down a couple of notches. Next up, we have Joshua Graham, and you can bet your bottom dollar, you can bet your bippy that I'm putting him at an S rank, even though you don't get a lot of time with him. Put him at an S rank. I'm a pretty big fan of Joshua Graham. I'm a fan of what he was in Van Buren as well, from the design documents that we have from that project. But I really like Joshua Graham. I think he's a deep character. I like his backstory. And the short time that we get with him in Honest Hearts makes me rank Honest Hearts super high on the list, even though a lot of people think that it's the weakest of the DLCs for New Vegas, which kind of shows because Chris Avalon's work kind of speaks for itself on the other ones. But Joshua Graham is just the top, in my opinion. He's one of the best companions, and I really wish we would have gotten a lot more time with him. Alright, up next, we're looking at Arcade Gannon. And I like Arcade's backstory, and the Enclave Remnants thing is really cool. So that's going to boost him a little higher than most. I'm going to put Arcade in an A, because I think he's an interesting character. Good backstory, and the Enclave thing, come on, Enclave. Like I said before, Arcade is a decent companion. He's good in a fight. He's also pretty charismatic. I like him as a person. But the Enclave Remnants thing is really what puts him up towards the top for me, around the A rank. I enjoy his company, but that Enclave thing, I love me some Enclave. And seeing the Remnants in New Vegas is really cool, and he's the gateway to that. Up next, we have the King's Robo-Dog, Rex, and he's gonna get an S. It's pretty simple. Rex gets an S because he's one of the goodest boys. It's a trend you'll see through the rest of the list. Up next, we're looking at Waking Cloud from the Honest Hearts DLC. I'm going to have to give Waking Cloud a D, if I'm being honest, especially since she follows Chalk. No pun intended, but she's right after follows Chalk, and he's one of the best. D for you. Waking Cloud is getting this low rating because, like I said, she is around the time you get her around the time you meet follows Chalk, and follows Chalk is so superior in this area in Honest Hearts that she seems lackluster in comparison, and there's no way to not compare her to him. So unfortunately for her, I'm gonna have to throw her down on the D list. Really kind of forgettable for me. Not the best companion. Yeah, not much to say. Next up is, in my opinion, a super forgettable companion in Sgt RL3, which is some kind of Mr. Gutsy or something. I am giving him a D. Sgt RL3 is a robot companion you can get in Fallout 3, and that's about all I have to say about Sgt RL3. Super forgettable to me, never used it at all. So, yeah, catch this D. That's really all I have to say. And there's not much to say about the next one. It's Dogmeat from Fallout 3. Automatic S, you're the goodest boy. Always gonna be the case. We're just gonna move on to Raul. And I definitely think Raul is a cool customer. I enjoy him a lot. Danny Trejo did a great job voicing him. He's getting an A. Admittedly, I don't use Raul as much as a lot of other people do. I typically use Boone and Rex in New Vegas, but I absolutely love the character. I think it's beautiful. He's beautifully written, and he's really one of the best characters in New Vegas. So, A spot for you, Raul. You're a good dude. Up next, we have X688, the Institute Courser. Not much to say about them either. I'm just, C for Courser. And there we go. There's not a whole lot to review about X688, Institute Courser. The reason he's getting a C instead of a D, honestly, is because he's a crazy piece of technology from the Institute. Coursers are insane, but it doesn't really connect with me. He doesn't connect with me very, very much at all in Fallout 4. So, C it is for you. Up next, we got my main man, Karen. Sharon? Karen? I don't know, but he is getting an A. I think I use Charon the most in Fallout 3 when it comes to companions. I like him a lot. He's a good dude, nice company, good in a fight. Just overall, a good companion. That's why he's taking the A spot, and definitely one of my favorites in Fallout 3. Up next, we have my favorite Dick, my favorite detective. That's Dick Nick Valentine. He's getting a B. Nick is taking this spot because I like him as a character. I think he's well written. I dig the way he looks. He's good in a fight. All of the above. But I just don't use him as much as I use, say, Kate or Dogmeat in Fallout 4. I use Dogmeat the most, I think, out of all the companions in Fallout 4. And oftentimes I get a mod and I use Dogmeat, insert random person here, usually Piper, Kate, or Dogmeat. Nick isn't somebody that I use unless I'm doing his quest. Because in Fallout 4, I just tend to grind the companion quests out. Get their affinity up, go do their quest, and then stick with the ones that I like. But Nick is a good dude, so he's going to take the B spot. Up next, we have another DLC companion, and that's going to be Dog/God, depending on how he feels. But I think that he's an interesting character and has a very good story. He's getting the A spot. This is one of the most interesting characters in the entire Fallout series. This super mutant with this personality disorder who it gets submissive and then aggressive, and it's just a super cool idea for a character. I really like Dog. I really like God. Whatever he wants to call himself. I think he's fantastic. And I like him. I'm going to have to give him the A spot, like I said. And yeah, just one of the best characters in New Vegas. Especially in the Sierra Madre's filled with such good character development. The characters that are in Dead Money are so good, and he's one of them. Up next, we have Jericho, the old retired raider in Megaton in Fallout 3. I never really get him because I usually play as a good character. I'm gonna have to put him at a C, honestly, but I don't spend enough time with him to really have an affection for Jericho. And maybe it's just me, but when I get to Megaton, I disarm the bomb pretty much immediately, right? Like, that's pretty much one of my main goals. I'm like, oh, disarm the bomb, get the house at Megaton. Now I'm set up. I can start getting things going for myself in Fallout 3. And if you do that, you pretty much completely miss Jericho. You're not going to be able to recruit him as a companion. And I think a lot of people might have that issue. So something I'd like to do is go through and, get Evil Karma, go in there and recruit Jericho and see what he's all about. I've had him as a companion a couple of times, for certain, but not enough to really feel like he's one of my favorites or anything. But I put him at a C because I like the idea. He's one of the only evil companions you can get in Fallout 3. And I do think that what I do know about him, what you can figure out in Megaton, is pretty well written. So, C it is. Now we're looking at my boy Boone. My boy Boone, I use him all the time. It's him and Rex all the time in New Vegas. I'm gonna have to throw him at an S. Boone is hands down one of my favorite companions in New Vegas. I really love his story, but especially like him when it comes to combat. He is particularly handy when it comes to walking through New Vegas. You get into a fight, that guy will sharpshoot anything. He is terrific with his gun, fantastic. I like the story of his wife. I like his vendetta against the Legion. It all is just awesome. He is one of the top companions that I use. S rank for sure. Now for another beautifully written character from Dead Money. Chris Avalon did it again. Christine, she's getting an S rank. Christine is a phenomenal companion. You don't get a whole lot of time with her. I wish you could get more. I wish she could come out of the Sierra Madre with you. Maybe reunite her with Veronica. Would be a tremendous story. But Christine is still one of the best written characters in the Fallout franchise. Being able to communicate with a lack of words, it's also fantastic. I love it. I love her character. S rank for sure. Hey, look who we got next. It's Dean Domino. I'm giving him the A rank. Dean is a very well written character. I wouldn't trust him as far as I can throw him. I think he's overall a guy who's out for himself. But I do think he's really well written, as everybody is in Dead Money. Everybody. All the characters are super well done in that DLC. Dean is no different. But he tried to fuck me in that theater. He tried to pull one over on me. So, instead of the S, he's getting the A. Up next is Paladin Cross from Fallout 3. You're gonna have to catch this D. Paladin Cross is super forgettable for me. Like, beyond forgettable for me. I never use Paladin Cross. It never even crosses my mind. Forgettable character in my opinion. Sorry if you're really into Paladin Cross, you're part of that Paladin Cross fan club, but yeah, catch this D, Paladin Cross. I barely even know who you are. Sorry. Oh, what's this? We have Dogmeat from Fallout 4. S rank, goodest boy. We've been through this. On to the next one. Hey, Dancy boy. I like his character, he's getting an A. I'm throwing Dancin A because I really enjoy his story. Him finding out that he's a synth is super crazy. I didn't necessarily see it coming until, right around when it was about to be revealed. I was like, oh, I bet you that's what's going on. But I really enjoy his character, and I think he's an honorable companion. Good to have around. And yeah, A. That's where he's going for me. Okay, I'm a little biased on this one, but Cass is getting an S. I'm more biased on this one than I am for others because Cass is my girlfriend, you guys. I don't know if you knew about this. She's a really good companion. She's good in a firefight. Her dialogue is amazing and hilarious. Her story is good. I think she's honorable. I think she's cool. I like her style. And also, we all know, Cass is bae as fuck. Hey, Clover's up next. C for Clover. Clover's taking this spot because, like the others, I just haven't really used her very much. I don't know a lot about her from a gameplay perspective. I know about her from the lore of Fallout, things like that, but I've only had her as a companion in a couple of playthroughs. When I play through Fallout 3, typically barely even talk to her. So, C for you. We got McCready up next, and he's taken a B spot. Overall, McCready is a good guy and a pretty decent companion, but I use others more in Fallout 4, so he goes lower on the list. His story is good, I appreciate his values, but that's where it rests. My big boy Fox is next. I'm giving him the A position. Fox is a great companion to have. He's strong, he's loyal, He's a good dude, helps you get the Gek. The guy is amazing, and if you have the Broken Steel Edition, he will take one for the team in a spectacular fashion. I really, really like him as a companion. Terrific choice in Fallout 3. A for sure. Hey, Preston Garvey, getting the C from me. I think Preston is a good dude, nothing wrong with that. I think the Minutemen's are in the right place, but I really don't take him out and about as a companion. And the, hey, another settlement needs our help, let me mark it on your map situation does get a little old and annoying after a while. But he's still a good dude. C for me, honestly, guys. Good character. Still kind of annoying. Here's my boy Follows Chalk. A rank for him. Follows Chalk is another good part of Honest Hearts. I think that he is a really interesting character. I love his voice, I love his attitude, I love his mentality, and I think he's an overall good dude. A rank from me, personally, just because I like the guy quite a bit. Eddie, my love, you're going to be taking an A rank from me. Eddie's taken the A because he is a terrific companion. I love the little beeps and boops. He's had a terrific journey. His story is great, and I just love having him around. What a terrific inclusion into New Vegas he was. Piper is next, and she will receive a B. I actually use Piper quite a bit as a companion. I just feel like she's lacking in some departments when it comes to her story. I enjoy that she's all about the truth and trying to get the word out there about things, but I think it consumes too much of her character when it comes to like basic things. Now, obviously it should consume a lot of her character. She's very passionate about it, but it's just the way it comes off. It comes off weird. So for that, I'm gonna have to give her a B. Plus, I like Kate more as a companion, and like in order for it to make sense, I feel like Piper would take a B, which leads us to Kate. I like Kate just a little bit more, so she's taken the A spot. Kate is a phenomenal character. I love having her help in the Wasteland. I love her as a person. I love her story. I love her attitude. And quite frankly, she's Bay of Fallout 4. Big Lily, you're going to take this big C. Lily's getting this rank because she's a good character and all. There's nothing wrong with her as a character. I don't have a problem with her at all. But I never really connected with her as a companion, so just going to have to put her in the C spot for me personally. Oh, little punchy girl. It's Veronica. She's taking the A spot for me. Veronica's getting the A spot because she's a terrifically written character. She's one of the best parts of the Brotherhood post Fallout 3 in my opinion. She's fantastic. I love her. She's great in combat. Her story is great. And I mean, all the girl wants is a dress. You gotta find it for her. Am I right, boys? Am I right, boys and girls? That's what it's all about. You gotta help her find that dress. She deserves it. Love you, Veronica. Up next is Porter Gage from the Nuka World DLC. He's getting a C from me. Porter Gage over here, you know, decent dude. You don't get a whole. I guess you can take him with you, but it's just doesn't do much for me. I think he's a cool dude, but I think he belongs more at Nuka World. Taking him across the Wasteland doesn't really vibe with me. Helps you out with the Raider stuff in Nuka World. Like the quests, I like the Raider idea, but yeah, that's where he's gonna sit for me. Ada from Automatron, about to catch this D. I think Automatron as a whole was kind of a flop. I think it was executed kind of, you know, not terrible, but it just didn't speak to me like some of the other ones did. Ada is no different, though I like the idea of being able to customize a robot, build a robot. I just, you know, I never use Ada past Automatron, so yeah, catch this D, please. Hancock of Good Neighbor, get that S rank. Hancock is definitely one of, if not the best character in Fallout 4. There's definitely some, you know, points of interest there. I'm sure it could be argued, but Hancock is terrific, and I'm definitely giving him this S. One of the best companions in the game. Though he doesn't travel with me often, I always keep him around at the settlements that I main, because then I can always see his beautiful face and talk to him. He is fantastic. 10 out of 10. Strong can absolutely have this D. Strong's gonna take this D because he's just not that interesting of a companion. I never really use him. He is, yeah, just kind of forgettable for me, honestly. Maybe you like him, I don't know. Somebody who likes him, you can tell me the good points of him, but yeah, I'm just gonna have to throw him down in the D. And the last one on this tier maker list is old Longfellow. I'm gonna have to give him a C. Longfellow is getting this ranking from me because I mainly just use him as like a caravan from Far Harbor to my main settlement of Sanctuary, which is how I feel he would help the situation. But I really like him as a character. When he's showing you around Far Harbor, I just enjoy him, but don't really use him as a companion, so I'm gonna have to put him down in a C. Alright, so here's my list for the Fallout companions. This is post Bethesda because they, like I said, didn't have any classic Fallout 1 and 2 companions on this list. Make one myself. But this is my list. Again, this is just on personal preference. This isn't who's strongest or who's most beneficial. It's just who I like the best. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it for you. Now it's time for a shout out to my Patreonoids and YouTube channel members. These are people who pledge $5 or more to my channel, and I can't do it without them. On Patreon, we got Jake Russell, Hoppin' Sada, Lizbeth, Nathaniel, Skylar Masterson, Sorry Boy, Squiggles420, SS1234L, and Edgy McGee. As YouTube channel members, we have James Meador, Corbin King, Kyle S., This Old Planeswalker, TKS Gimper, Matt Jordan, Triumph, Mark 05790, Mark Train, James Starkey, Craniac Gaming, Combat Carl, Skull and Suit, and Sean Johnson. And now, here are the tag team champions. These are people that pledge both $5 on Patreon and YouTube channel members, and this is Fireflare, Nero, Jayad the Jungle, and Clay395. Thank you guys for your continuous support. Couldn't do it without you. It's been Mantis.
I gotta testify. Come up in the spot looking extra fly. For the day you die, you gon' touch the sky. You gon' touch the sky, baby girl. Testify. Come up in the spot looking extra fly. For the day you die, you gon'